Alrighty, in the GS300, gonna go out, take her for some photos. But I figured on the way there, we're gonna do a little bit of filming of the driving. So let's just go ahead and do that. We're gonna hop on the freeway here, and we're gonna go down a couple of exits. Then what we're gonna do is there's a little twisty section on the way to one of my favorite places in the world, which is simply Port Costa, California. There's a really cool little twisty road that I like to shoot some of my driving videos there. And yeah, so without further ado, let's do that. There is a spot in the middle I'll probably talk about the car because it's just freeway and it's a really quiet car. So in lieu of you falling asleep, if you're watching this, I do want to talk about the car, but for now I'm going to shut up while we hop on the on-ramp here and do our thing. So yes, this GS300, it's 1993, appropriate Lexus gold over equally appropriate Lexus beige. 74,000 miles on it. I do believe it was a one-owner car, and it was actually donated by that owner who bought it new up in Santa Rosa, California, and had it there up until just a few weeks ago. Where she donated it to a charity, and that's where I come in. So I'm helping the charity sell this car. So we're taking it out for photos right now, and it is pretty fantastic. We're gonna have some walk around portion of this video here. Once we're done doing a little bit of driving, we can kind of see how everything works. We'll go over some of the other details, but it drives really well. It is every bit of 74,000 miles and really well looked after and maintained. Feels like that one owner car that paid, shoot, I think this thing was about $40,000 new. And yeah, when you paid $40,000 in 1993 money, you tend to look after it. It's the person that bought it, they're the fourth owner of it, and they bought it for $2,500, and suddenly they don't want to do the maintenance on it, and that is kind of the old tripe with a one-owner car, and this one it really feels like it holds true. Every single thing works on it. Windows, it's absolutely tight as a drum. It just tracks dead straight. It stops well. It's buttery smooth. That 2JZ the non-turbo Supra motor is great. It's smooth. It's as reliable as an old hammer, and it makes decent power. This thing isn't a rocket ship. I would not call it fast, but it's healthy. It's strong. Transmission shifts really well. Does everything you'd want it to do. All 4 speeds. Kicks down good. Yeah, it's very nice. And if you know anything about these cars and these motors, 74,000 miles is absolutely nothing. You do the basic maintenance, and it's probably more likely going to last, well, I don't know. I don't want to say forever, but yeah, damn near forever. Stops really well. Doesn't pull in any direction. No shaking from the front end. Doesn't feel like it's got warped rotors or anything. And yeah. So I'm going to shut up for a minute. We'll drive down this nice windy road. You can hear the car do its thing. This is not something that I'm really just going to carve up twisty roads with. It definitely is every bit of a mid-size or larger luxury sedan. But either way, let's keep on driving it. We'll listen and see what it sounds like and see what it drives like. yes, I do have my camera bag in the back seat. That is doing a little bit of sliding around back there. Probably should have thrown that guy in the trunk, so if you hear something sliding in the corners, that's probably what you're hearing. Has this lovely Freeman Motors Lexus dealership keychain. That's a little Lexus branded padlock, and it's jiggling around down here. So if you hear something else jiggling around, that's kind of what we've got there. But that has it is original to the car from the dealership when it was bought new in '93, and that's kind of cool. This car is, it actually does handle pretty well for what it is. It's big. It's got, I think, 16-inch wheels, so the tires have a lot of sidewall to them. This was sort of billed as a sports sedan, but I would really, at least by today's standards, not exactly call it particularly sporting. It is soft. It is squishy. By today's standards. By then, you know, it was. You're looking at your Cadillac Fleetwoods and your Lincoln Town Cars and whatnot, and I would definitely say it's sporting compared to that and kind of the offerings of the early mid-90s. But yeah, today I would not necessarily consider it a sports sedan. That said, it does hold the road pretty well. I'm obviously not exactly pushing it right here, but it does feel strong. It does feel composed, I guess would be a way to put it. But it's good. It feels strong. It stops really well. Yeah, it's comfortable. It's not flailing about, which is good. It feels solid. Something coming on this left part of the lower dash, maybe? it's a trim panel? I can't tell, but there's something. Maybe it feels like it's around the kick panel area. A little, I don't know if the mic is picking it up, but there's a little buzz. But otherwise, this is a really quiet, tight interior. And actually, I don't think I'd noticed it up until, well, coming around those bumps over there, coming down this road. So maybe something got bumped a little bit loose, but we can play with that here in a minute. Oh yeah, that rattle's gonna bug me. We will figure it out. Easy fix would put the stereo on. The stereo does work. If you're really into cassette tapes, oh, you're covered. It's got a cassette tape player. Big dip right there. End of the road. Park here, get some photos, and do our little walk around video. Hope you enjoyed the ride. All right, we have arrived. So drove down to where I normally do a lot of my shooting, and there was a huge amount of people. Normally there's maybe one passerby, but it rained yesterday. Today is a Saturday, and it's supposed to rain tomorrow. And so everyone is out. And being that, I don't know, 4,000-ish people a day are dying from COVID, I'm really not trying to stack up myself with a whole bunch of people. So I kind of went around the corner, still in the Port Costa area. If you're familiar with it, you probably aren't, but we're by the entrance to the reservoir, which doesn't have public access, so there's no one here. So anyways, yeah, inside the GS300. Added a couple more miles on it, getting it down here. It all works. Horn. These have the auto lights, which is cool, and they work. Got them on for now. I like to have them on for my photos. Fog lights work. We've got all this down here, our parking brake, which works. It's a little sluggish coming up, but it's there. Fuel door, trunk. Does have a lockout. This is interesting. I don't have a fob with the key I was given. I don't know if it got lost or it doesn't have a fob. By the time this auction goes live, I will have that sorted out. By the way, if you haven't figured out via this video, this car is going to be going up for auction. Carsandbids.com is going to be running this one. And it is being sold for charity. So with that, I did not get a remote. I'll check in with my charity partner and see if they do have a remote. Obviously that would be included if it isn't. I'll make sure the auction notes if it does not have one. Power mirrors, they do both work. There's the right one. There's the left. Let's go ahead and play with the windows while we're doing all this. Auto down. Just on a driver's side one though. Not auto up, but it has auto down. Left rear's not working. Look what we just found. Let's try it with this switch back here. All right, that switch's not working either. So, left rear power window, not operational. Reasons unknown. Both the switches, I would assume, are not bad. The lockout works. So, yeah, and I didn't hear any noises. So, yeah, I would expect all of the windows are probably all on the same fuse, so it's probably not just a bad fuse. It's either that motor's bad or disconnected, or there's more to that story. Maybe they disconnected it. Maybe the regulator is kind of hokey, and so instead of replacing the regulator, which is probably discontinued at this point, you'd probably have to get a new one, considering this thing looks like it has been dealership maintained its entire life. Freeman Lexus Toyota up there in Santa Rosa. Yeah, they're not too keen on putting used parts in a car, so maybe they just disconnected it. I don't know. Your mileage will vary on that. HVAC. Yeah, it works. It's got these little 4 speeds. Digital temp. All these LEDs are working, which is cool. And it is changing between the modes. Rear defroster. Outside, 55 degrees today. Not bad. Yep, I don't know if the mic is picking that up, but you can hear the blend door flipping and closing. Cool. Stereo.
Taylor, the crew chief.
Functional.
Kind of a perfect storm on that night.
I don't have a tape with me to test the tape deck. I'll try and find one. I like to try and see if I can find a period corrected tape for this thing to go along with the sale. That's always kind of fun. And if I do find one, I'll make sure to throw it in here and see what we got. Oh, these are the cool push in, push out dials that Lexus was very keen on in the 90s and the 2000s. Had a couple of Toyota Lexus products, and a lot of them, they like to do this kind of deal. Also with this here stereo, the power antenna works, and if I turn it off, it retreats back into its home. So we do indeed have that. Glove box has some goodies. We have the manual. We've got all kinds of stuff in here from the Lexus dealership when it was purchased. Looks like our guy Drew was selling it, and they put all the stuff for all the different people that you might need along your way. If you need service, you got Bob. You need a body shop, you got Jim. You know, it's roadside, there you go. Maybe 3 owner's manual, owner's guide, warranty and whatnot. And then this, I don't actually see if it has wheel locks. I guess we'll see when we step out here in a second, but that's got the code. So if you lose your wheel lock key, which I haven't found one, so if it does have wheel locks, that's good to have, that you can go ahead and get yourself the replacement lock, or the key for your wheel locks. Again, things from Toyota from the 80s and 90s is the power norm electronic controlled transmission, ETC, and really it doesn't do a whole lot. You get this cool little thing, power, lights up in the dash, and yeah, if it's anything like any of the other Toyotas from this era, all it does is kind of hang the shifts a little lighter, so it revs a little longer, kicks down a little sooner. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Dome lights. This handy dandy dude covers this gap between the mirror and there, so if you got that one little annoying beam of light, you can block it out, put it in submission. Sunroof. I have not tried the sunroof yet. I hate playing with sunroofs because just my luck, they'll get stuck open, but let's see what it does. Still works. Well, it only says tilt. Oh, we need this guy here. Okay. Would you look at that? Here's the scary part. Yeah, buddy. Okay. Glad that closed. We got a storm coming tomorrow morning. We do have power tilt, power telescope, up, down. All seems to work. I don't know how to program the auto to work. I guess actually it's not a memory. It's just you push that, and when you get out, it'll out of the way. I don't need that feature. I will leave it off, as it seems like the prior owner, the original owner, did. Got all this. Got the original floor mats. Carpets are very nice. Pedals look like they got 74,000 miles on them. It's always a good sign. I always don't necessarily, I mean, these cars have accurate odometers, but on some of the early 80s stuff, the VDO stuff you see in BMWs and things like that, that they like to break all the time, I'm always wary when I see 74,000 miles up there, but the pedals are all worn down to nothing. It's always kind of a little telltale that maybe the mileage isn't super duper accurate, but that jives with 74,000 miles if you ask me. Leather is very nice. There's a couple of creasing here on the side bolster, a little bit of wear, but it's still very soft. It's not hardly dry at all. Supple, feels nice. The lumbar, I don't know if you can see this guy breathing over here, but it is working. Same with this. Climb, forward, backwards, up, down. That's the way we like to recline. The wise man's once said. Cup holders for all your cups. You know, in case you were wondering about your airbag, they like to stick this in the center console lid. Kind of weird, but there you go. All up to right home there. Windshield's actually very nice. Some very, very light pitting in a couple of spots, but no major chips or cracks to report. And it looks like the original. Or if it was replaced with a Toyota one. Isn't a huge deal, but it's kind of fun. I did just see the speaker. So this is the actual speaker. It's got like a belly button, but that's one of the speakers. You get your tweeter up here, and then they give you this little subwooferette. Yeah, that's how they did that. I thought this was kind of fun too. $10,000 reward. I wonder if that's still good. I wonder if you can still cash that in. If that happens, if somebody's still a member. If you know, let me know. I'd love to hear the story behind that. I'm not up on my cash rewards. It does have a child lock. It's fun. But a really, really clean interior. You can see all the pillars look good. All the hinges look good. It doesn't look like anything significant has really happened to this car in the past. I guess if you only go 74,000 miles, probably not going to run into things. Perhaps things run into you. Got our AC back here, or HVAC, I should say. Cigarette lighter. Looks like none of the kids have ever used this in the back seat. That's good. The elastic in these are still good. They're not all worn out. Pretty unusual. Headliner's nice. That guy's just pulled out. That guy is not all messed up. Headliner's excellent. I mean, who am I kidding? Really everything in here is excellent. There's a couple of imperfections in the exterior. We'll see that in a second. You'll probably see that in the photos. Grandma must have had some coats, because those were all popped down. But same story with the seating that we had in the front. Really, really nice. Up here, the package tray is really clean. Not that faded. The fabric on the grill cover is a little faded. Really kind of nitpicking there. A nice plush armrest. Check out the door panels on the other side real quick. And then also same as up front. The carpeting down here is really good. We did pop the fuel door, didn't we? Premium unleaded fuel only. Allegedly. There's our power antenna. Right where it's supposed to be. I did notice, I'm sure you can imagine, most cars in this era, the hood struts are way gone. They're completely empty. They don't hold anything, and they're kind of a funny spot on these. They're way down here. So there's one there, and there's one there, and they're shot. So those gotta go. But the trunk is lovely. Got the factory Lexus first aid kit. It's kind of hard to open this with one hand because I'm also holding the trunk open with my head because those struts are bad. But no, nothing too special here. Should just be some gauze and some napkins. Yeah, nothing too fun. Put that guy over there. But the rest of this is all really good. All this trim is nice. Under the factory mat, got that. Actual floor under that. Got more of the floor. So that all looks like the factory seam sealer and sound deadening pads to me. It's spare tire hardware, all that's still there. Yeah, seam sealer all is all the same on that side, so that all looks about right. Inside of the trunk, we've got all this here. There's our bin. Same story over here. Pretty much free of all imperfections. All the pillars look good, all the structure looks good. Ignore my field recorder. Power locks do work. Passenger seat does all the things. Lumbar's working. The seat on the floor. Looks like there's a little bit of discoloration over here. Maybe that'll come out, I don't know. There's a little bit of a stain there, but honestly, if this is here, you're never gonna know it. So as I mentioned, there are a few imperfections on the exterior. There's some spots where there's some touch-up paint. Well, there's a little, that's actually on top of the clear mostly, it feels like. But there's a little mark here. A couple little dings and stuff like that. Now that's dirt there. But there's some dings here. There's a door ding. There's a little door ding here on the dog leg. Which any paintless dent repair tech worth their salt can take care of. Looks like the clear coat's peeling a little bit right here. And you know what? little bit of overspray right here. So maybe this door has been painted. And what they did was they didn't take this off. And probably because you have to pull all of this off and the vent glass. And when you do that, you probably break a bunch of stuff that's not available anymore. I have with me a mill gauge, so I will test the paint on this door, or not the paint, but I'll put it on the door, check the substrate thickness here, but it all sounds pretty good. So, of note, but I wouldn't be afraid of that. Quarter sounds good too. A little scratch here. A little bit here too. Really light stuff though. Most of the bigger imperfections on this car are just on the corners. Some tight parking was a time or two, and it looks like there's like a little scuff on this corner. There's some imperfection here on the bumper. You don't ever really notice till you're right on top of it. You stare at it, and then it kind of jumps out at you. Same over here, and over here. Or touch-up paint. A little spot of touch-up, but all really good. I mean, I'm trying to be as nitpicky as possible, because you deserve to know, especially if you're going to be placing a bid on the car. A little light scuffage here, and that might even polish out, I don't know, kind of hard to tell. A little mark there. And as I said, on the corners of the bumpers here. Base is a bit not too bad. And then again on this corner as well. And a lot of this, all this black stuff here, that's just a rubber transfer, I think. Some of it might be the plastic bumper cover, but a lot of this I think is transfer. So if you were to take some rubbing compound, or somebody was, that should come out of it. This down here won't. That's for sure dug into the bumper. But as a wise man once said, bumpers are for bumping. Very few rock chips. There are some here. But for something from 93, they're few and far between. I did forget to pop the hood though. Let's take a gander at what would become a pretty popular thing. Not so much in 93. People weren't getting fast and or furious. But this is a very, very nice engine there. No real weird noises, no signs of any significant leaks or seeping. None of that. window and the receiver dryer for the AC is working as intended. Pretty sweet. In case you're wondering who built your Lexus. Pretty much it. So, as I said before, this thing is about to be listed on Cars and or Bids, carsandbids.com. That is Doug DeMiro's auction website, which, yeah, if you find me on there, the photographer's garage, I've auctioned a bunch of cars there, and I've always had really good luck with it. Been pretty happy with the results as a seller. Definitely had some things that were a good value to the buyer as well, so everyone has been happy all around, and all the transactions have been great, and all my interactions with the guys over there at Cars and Bids have been great. So this is another one that's going to be listed up there. I'm going to have this video try and go live the same day of the auction, and I'm going to be doing that with pretty much all of the videos that I'm going to be putting up. So if you like this kind of stuff and you want to see stuff for sale and you want to get the jump, definitely, you know, do all the YouTube things. Headbutt your keyboard until it eventually smashes that subscribe button and the like and the bell and all the things. I don't know, I'm not Mr. YouTube, but you should probably do that, because that way you'll get an alert when one of these videos pops up, and then just know that on that same day or very, very, very soon, you're gonna see whatever's on here going over to my friends and yours over there at Cars and Bids, or any other one. Sometimes, you know, I have cars that end up going other places, whether that be bring a trailer, whether that be well, any of them. There's so many auction sites now cropping up, coming out of the woodwork. But yeah, any case, thanks for hanging out, thanks for checking out this video. If you are interested in this car and the auction is still running, bid early, bid often. That's all I got for you. Bye.